Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Annabelle Creation. I love the Conjuring movies. I think both The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2 are some of the best horror films we've gotten over the past 10 years. And weren't we all curious about that doll Annabelle from the first movie? So of course they give us a standalone film for that character, and it was underwhelming to say the least. It didn't have the polish, it didn't have the sheen, it didn't have the scares. It didn't really have anything that made The Conjuring so good. So since the first one was so underwhelming, I definitely had a lot of reservations about them making this second film. But I have to say, this is a huge improvement on the first film. It is definitely closer to the Conjuring movies than it is to Annabelle. So let's go ahead and talk about positives first. First of all, I loved this cast. I thought they all did such a fantastic job. And that is saying something because the majority of this cast is made up of young girls. So fantastic job, young ladies. You killed it. You were wonderful here. This film also does what that first Conjuring film did so well, and that is just build tension, and give us a nice payoff. Sometimes the payoff comes at a delayed moment, not when you expect, and sometimes it does strike right on cue. The film does the horror staple of using the entirety of the frame so well. You're always kind of watching off in the periphery. There are small movements or small adjustments, small things that happen that make the audience gasp. And I think this movie has a lot of scares in it. I will say there are quite a few jump scares, but I think there's some pretty creepy imagery, and the entire third act of this film is complete tension-filled scares. So I think that was fantastic. Once that ball really starts rolling in this film, it never lets up. And I think that's an amazing accomplishment, to just keep tension and scare level so high for so long. It worked really, really well. So, as for the negatives, I am always leery when a horror film relies so heavily on children. There's just something different about watching kids get terrorized, and especially when you make them these foster kids, there's just a deeper level of discomfort watching them run around and get terrorized and have the potential of dying. And I think it handcuffs the storytelling for a horror just a little bit. It's that constant question of, do I just not kill anyone? Are there going to be no deaths in my film because there's like 2 or 3 adult characters? Or do we just go there and go to like trauma land and show children being like murdered in brutal ways on screen? So while on the one hand, having those children allows for you to have a more naive look at what's going on in the film, as well as allow for really dumb choices and not so great decision making to take place, and it's understandable because it's a kid, having your whole cast be the ones being terrorized is never going to really be a positive. I also thought that like dad character, the male that's in the house, was completely just dead. Even before like tragedy strikes, his personality was dead, stayed dead. And I think the beginning setup was a little bit shaky. They get you with like a shock, like, whoa, okay, we're going there right off the bat. But it then kind of lulls for a little bit, and then after we hit the big climax, it lulls for a little bit. And some of the dialogue comes off just a tad clunky. It wasn't really bad. Just every now and then it was a little bit like, oh, okay, no. But overall, I had a lot of fun with Annabelle the Creation. I think this is just a pure, fun, good horror film. And one that ties in really, really well with this franchise. Now that they're really branching off on all these other side characters and such, I do appreciate that they're putting in this groundwork, kind of pulling a MCU, but like a Conjuring cinematic universe. So we had Easter eggs to other films and other characters in here. And then, of course, I thought they tied it in really well to the first Annabelle film. And I will say there are 2 post-credit scenes in this movie. So if you do check it out and you are loving what they're doing with this Conjuring cinematic universe, make sure you stay until the very last credit rolls. So my recommendation, this is a full price ticket for me, especially if you're a horror fan. You'll have a lot of fun with this. You might get creeped out. You'll definitely jump several times in the film. And I think it is a major improvement on its first film. And I think Lulu Wilson might just be the horror genre's secret weapon. Ouija, not so good. They add in Lulu Wilson to be the star of Ouija 2. Much, much better. Annabelle, big disappointment. They add her in for Annabelle Creation. Much, much better. So all of you horrible horror films from earlier this year, maybe just sign Lulu Wilson on for the sequel? Hey, it's worth a shot, right? So, that has been my review of Annabelle Creation. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Annabelle Creation? And what is your favorite film in that Conjuring universe to date? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!